Half a day and welcome to the Chamber Member Spotlight Podcast, where we feature one of our many small business members, the backbone of our island community. They provide much needed services and products, employ our residents, pay taxes, and give back to our community in a number of ways. We're so glad you joined us today. My name is Catherine Castro, your host for the Chamber Member Spotlight Podcast. We are so excited to feature our member Elevenses at Elevenses in Upper Tumor. And so today we have Grace Valencia, who is the proprietor with her husband, Verge. And we just are so excited to have you on our show. Half a day and welcome to the podcast.
Half a day. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you today.
It's our pleasure. You know, I was hoping that Verge was going to be here, but he decided
He's a little bit shy.
Okay, that's okay. We're thinking of you, Verge. Okay. So tell us, Elevenses has always been this fun place to come to, and I have to say that I discovered it during the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
And so it was just a great place to come and just grab something real quick, and then go out and enjoy it. Right? We couldn't stay here and do it, but tell us, how did you get started? Tell us about what made you decide to open the store.
Coffee shop. It's how it all started is it's kind of a long story. I actually am up to now. I can't believe we have two shops that we're running.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you have dreamed of, but you wouldn't realize until you're there that you're actually running it. Mm-hmm. But it started when I just worked for public health, and I've been there for more than 10 years.
No kidding.
Which I love to do. I love the people there. I love what I do. It's the feeling of you wanted to be with your children all the time.
Yes, of course.
So when I started having children, because I started working for public health when I was single, I can travel and I don't care about anything else and everything else about my life. Mm-hmm. But when I started having kids, I felt like I wanted to stay home only and have to have more time with my children. Mm-hmm. And we did not plan to have a coffee shop. It's just that my husband's been involved with events, photo shoot, multimedia. Mm-hmm. And then I starting to decorate for my friends. And I'm like, I think this is what I wanted to do. So I ended up, to make the story short, I ended up resigning at public health. Mm-hmm. And then when I was stay-at-home mom 100%, I thought I've been doing many things, was hustling.
Yes, girl. We talked about that earlier.
To do things that I love to do. Uh-huh. And then I thought of flowers, and I thought of, I've been doing events. We're meeting with people in different places, a coffee shop and stuff. And so I said, what if we just open a place where it's our studio, it's our meeting place with our clients, until Elevenses was born.
So, you know what, tell me about, what are some of the challenges? You're a small business owner, you've been a small business owner for a couple of years already. You came from working for the government of Guam. And, what are some of the challenges of being a small business owner here in Guam?
A lot that I can think of. Well, first, any small business, I think we all have the same, not really problems, but we always have to take care of our finances, inventory, manpower. Yes. But I think personally, the challenges that I personally learned a lot from being a small business owner is letting go of people that you got used to working already.
Sure.
And these are people that becomes your family, your children. Mm-hmm. You work with them every single day, and I have a very soft heart, I guess. And when they start leaving, because of course they have their own personal goal in life, like after going to college. Usually they're like college students, and then when they graduate or when they find, of course, other opportunities and they want to fly, of course, you have to let them go. But that's one of the challenge, I think. In the beginning, that was kind of hard for me to, I become so emotional whenever one leaves.
Sure.
But I get used to it. And of course, when you think about you were part of their lives as they, grow in their own career, and that you're happy that, they're moving on, and I learned from it. But like I said, the others are, it's very, I think everyone knows that a business have those challenges, finances, the pandemic, number one, I think. Number two is, again, there was a storm recently.
Yes, the typhoon.
But we always see the positive in those negative situations, like what I said earlier. So with the pandemic, it was a blessing in disguise, because all of a sudden when the governor said we can open food and beverage businesses, there were a lot of people that were coming in here ordering for their family for it to go or curbside only.
Yes.
It really helped us a lot.
I was one
during
of
that
those.
time. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So I know that you opened. You went through the pandemic. We had the typhoon, but through it all, you have persevered, and you're known in the community, right? So, what are some of the drinks or the products that people come in here specifically for?
In the beginning, they were all into with the coffee base, is the caramel macchiato, which was my personal favorite. So I made sure the caramel macchiato is really good. And I guess it's also the way you market it. So if people are here, they're asking about what's your recommendation, and usually we'll be like with coffee base, then it will be the caramel macchiato. But during pandemic, it was the trend was the dalgona. So if you heard about the dalgona, it's something, I think in Korea it's like sweet. It means sweet. So we YouTube University taught me. It's usually me that would try and experiment new drinks and have everybody try it, especially the young ones, the baristas. They'll be the ones to say, "It's not good, ate." They call me ate. Or you can try this ate and add this and that. But so we tried different flavors of dalgona. That was the time when, at one point, I think I was so happy to hear, and the person didn't know that I was one of the owners of Elevenses, and I was just walking at the mall, and she goes, "Oh, this is the Elevenses. They're so known for the dalgona." It feels so good when people are talking about your business in a good way.
Yes,
yeah. And another experience that I want to share with, like, when you feel like, oh, people know this already. Like, I think it was in 2021 that we're allowed to go to the park or at the beach. My husband and I and my children likes to go to the beach for sunset. We saw a family bringing Elevenses with them on the beach.
Oh,
it made me so, like, I was about to cry.
I love it.
It was the moment when I thought, oh, people are like thinking of us.
Yes, of course.
We are part of their like special moments. Look at me, I'm so emotional.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, I couldn't forget that day.
Yes,
that day, it was sunset with my family, and this is another small family with their Elevenses.
So you've had experiences with your baristas. You have, and I hear also from other small businesses that it's difficult to keep your employees. How has that been with you? Have you been able to manage your human resources? Is that also a challenge with you as a small business?
It's a challenge, but I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful that we still have a few or a lot that stayed with us since we started in 2020, so they're still with us up to now.
Wow, that's
so I'm
good.
really, really thankful that we're blessed with this family that we have in our team. And yes, it's kind of difficult when if you see now everyone's trying to hire people. So of course, not that I'm competing but for the lack of a better term, you cannot compete with a bigger business with lots of benefits, and we are a very small business. We are a true definition of a small business, I would say. As much as I would love to give our team all the benefits, sometimes you can only extend up to so much. So, and I definitely respect them for if someone decides to move on in a different, but it's a challenge because you see how many drinks we have in our menu, and to think about like training one person in like say 3 months, and then 6 months later that person would leave for some reason, then that's a challenge.
Yeah, of course. So I wanted to ask you, I know that you have 2 locations, and each location has a very distinct aesthetic. And that's the first thing that a lot of people, when they talk about Elevenses, right? They talk about the aesthetic. They talk about when they come in, like there's a wow factor, right? What is the inspiration behind the decor of your place?
It would usually be like before, when I have a lot of time, I would be like, if it's March, it has to be, Biba Mes Chamorro. But as time goes by and you're trying to find time to do a lot of things, it's mainly, in the beginning it was, I think, Pinterest. It was the in thing before. I don't know if young ones are still using Pinterest, but it was Pinterest before. You would see a lot of like nice, beautiful inspiration. And then from there, because we're doing events as well, and I have a lot of decoration stuff already at home in our storage. So I just tend to use those and reuse whatever, and then I try to make it a little bit different from the previous months. And my intention is for the people to have that whole Instagrammable
Sure.
place for them to.
Yeah.
to
I
relax.
remember when I first walked into this particular location, I thought of whimsy, right? It was very whimsical, and it had this, and your furniture, some of your furniture has that old world feel, right? And so I just was enamored, right, with the space, and my daughter really loved to come here as well, right? And so, and then we just, just for the listening audience today, as we're recording this, it is International Women's Day in 2024, and we actually had an event at Elevenses at the Micronesia Mall, and that was one of the most common remarks was that it's so beautiful in this space, right? And for, I want to say, about 75% of our guests today, it was their first time at Elevenses, and so what a great opportunity for you, and a way for people to support local business, to learn more about other great small businesses like yours, to frequent and to support. So, we're so happy that you agreed to let us be a part of your store at Micronesia Mall. It was so much fun.
I should be the one thanking you, not you thanking me.
It was so much fun. So I know that you got these great drinks, and I've also noticed that you have another aspect of Elevenses. You have flowers.
Okay.
Tell me about that.
So when we started, we listed a lot of names for the business, and one of which was coffee and flowers. And I thought, this is something that we don't have on island yet, and I love to do it. Again, it always goes back to the part where it's something that I love to do. So I'm like, I want to do that because I want to be decorating while I'm making coffee, and so that's when it started. And I tried to find sources or like vendors where I can get the preserved flowers, but I make it myself. I buy the ones that are, I know how to preserve them, but it's cost effective if I just order a lot than me making a little bit of the preservation. And because in the beginning when we started, I thought it wouldn't be that busy, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna order a few, like seasonal, like only on Valentine's, Mother's Day usually are the ones that are busiest.
Sure. Yes.
So yeah, and I think it's actually three things that we want to do, or we want to have here at Elevenses. It's coffee, canvas, and flowers. So slowly we're introducing the art, where like what you see, and if you saw some of the art pieces there at the Micronesia Mall, we have some in here too, and we let people paint or write something they want to write, and leave a piece of memory of themselves being in here.
Yes.
and
very
then
cool.
the art program that I am involved with. So we're going to have a coffee and canvas session too. Coffee,
cool.
canvas, and flowers.
Very cool. So, would you tell the listening audience just very quickly what your, this really fun and just a very cool thing that you're doing with the foster kids? You want to just kind of go over that really quickly? I know you said that you received a grant from CAHA.
Yes.
And you work with the
and
foster kids.
Yes, and very grateful, and it's very rewarding to be doing things for the community. So Like I mentioned before, my husband and I has been doing it in the Philippines, trying to help in our own ways to less fortunate children or people. So at one point, I just wanted to do it without having a grant. I wanted to do it however I can do it. And then one day my husband was telling me about Kaha's announcement about if you want to be creative about like thinking of a program that deals with art and the underserved or however, whatever ideas you have in mind. But it's very fulfilling. It's what I call the real success in life.
Yes.
It's being able to touch people's lives in your ways.
Yeah. And what a wonderful way to bring happiness to our young people when they need it so much. So thank you for giving back in that way.
Oh, thank you.
And
Thank you, Kaha, and the Office of the Governor.
I'm so glad that they had these opportunities and that you were able to.
I'm very thankful to them. So shout out to Kaha
Yay.
and the Office of the Governor. So
that was my question: is like, how do you engage with the local community and support
other businesses too? The way we support other businesses too is we try to, for like, when was that? At one point I would announce it, or all of a sudden small businesses would inquire if they can use this place for pop-ups. So we encourage small businesses, pop-ups. I invite everybody, and we don't charge for anything. We don't get anything out of their profit when they do come here and sell their products or introduce their products. So
that's very nice.
That's another way.
What's in the future for Elevenses? You have 2 locations, one here in Upper Tumon and one at the mall. You have a great place to get coffee and drinks and snacks. You also have a beautiful dried flower business. You give back to the community with your love of art, and you share it with the young folks. What else do you have on the horizon, Grace?
It's anything that would open opportunities that would open along the way, I would say. But right now we don't have any solid plans of like. It's always been a dream to have a lot of locations, but right now our focus is to maintain and improve a lot here, and then at the Micronesia Mall.
Yes.
You want to take it slow, one step at a time, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself.
Of course, that's a wise decision, right? You want to be successful at the current locations that you have.
But should there be any opportunities? But and to be honest, there's been a lot of investors that have been inquiring before if they can open one in different locations, even international. And I was so happy before. There was people from Korea who were family. They emailed us and they were inquiring about are you thinking, or would you be interested in opening one? It's something that sometimes you feel like you don't deserve, but God gives you, blesses you with, and for that you're very grateful.
And you work really hard for it. You take the values. Remember we were talking about that earlier, right? You take the values that you have and you put it into your business, and it's positive and it works for you, and you develop that. That hustle turns into a flow, and you thrive, right? And so I think that you've got that process down, and I think that's what makes you successful and what makes people be drawn to you and want to be able to partner with you in new ventures, right? So they see that positivity. So that's wonderful. Congratulations, Grace.
Thank you.
Well, my one last question is, you're a member of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. How has your membership benefited your company?
In a lot of ways, and I keep saying thank you is not enough word to tell you guys how much grateful we are with the opportunities.
Yes.
Being part of the chamber is a blessing again. And today was just it was awesome.
It was.
Thank
It was
thank
so
you
much
so
fun.
Like what you said, maybe more than 75% of them doesn't know that we are there, that we exist. Those are the ones. We are a very small community. It's the word of mouth. That one person can grab or drag like 30 families.
That's right.
And then eventually,
they were all taking photos. They were telling me as they were walking out, they were going to come back over the weekend and bring their families.
And not to mention those trainings that you have on a monthly. At some point, we were sending some of our supervisors still with the trainings that you provide. So those are also helping us with operations, and we are very thankful.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you so much. What a pleasure it was to sit down and talk to you about your company and about your small business. So I really appreciate it, and I know that our listening audience really appreciated the time with you today.
I do appreciate. I am very, very thankful. I'm very grateful. I have a grateful heart. So I don't know. Is there another word to say thank you more than thank you? I just want to thank you guys, like millions of thank you. I may not be able to return the favor, but I'm such a religious person that God always gives you good karma whenever you do this for the community, for small businesses. So thank you on behalf of all small businesses on Guam.
Thank you. Your thanks is enough. We are just so happy to be here. It's our centennial year, and we're just so happy to be able to share your business with the island and the world. So congratulations, and we look forward to another time that we could spend with you at Elevenses.
Thank you
Take
so
care,
much.
my dear.
Have a great day.
It was such a treat to sit with Grace at her place at Elevenses to record this podcast. We encourage our residents to support our small businesses like Elevenses that make a big difference in our community. I'd like to thank our listeners for tuning in and listening to today's show. We encourage you to drop us a note or share your comments on this episode or visit our website on social media platforms. We truly appreciate your feedback. We look forward to having you back on the Chamber Member Spotlight podcast again soon. And if you haven't already heard it, we also have another podcast called Chamber BizBox, which features issues and challenges that face our business community. These podcasts are currently available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, so give them a listen. This is your host, Catherine Castro. Until next time, take good care and make it a great day, Guam.